Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to do the 25 books that I've read so far in 2024. That's halfway to 50. So I think I'm gonna try to get to 50 this year. We'll see. Hopefully we'll do more because I have a lot on my TBR, but 50 is gonna be our goal this year. I don't know what I set for myself in the beginning of the year, honestly, I can't remember, but now we're doing 50. Anyways, I did post a video before this doing my 5-star reads of 2024. So I'm just going to start with those really quickly and just kind of show you if you haven't seen the video. But if you want to know my thoughts, then please go watch that video. Alright, so every time I go on vacation, someone dies. Loved it. The Trap, great. Book Lovers, beautiful. The Stand-In, oh, amazing. The Neighbor Favor, so cute. And the Sweetest Remedy, gorgeous. All right, so those are the 6 books that I rated 5 stars. Go watch that video. Anyways, okay, next I read Colleen Hoover's It Ends With Us and It Starts With Us. These are both cute. I'm not going to give any ratings for any of these books here because I do have a couple books that I rated like 1 star and I feel bad for kind of telling everybody that. So I'm just going to kind of go throughout the books. Now, these are both cute. I'm pretty sure that most of you guys know about It Ends With Us, It Starts With Us. They are actually making a movie. I think it should be out in like a week or 2. But it's about Lily, and it's mainly just about her and her relationship with Ryle. Ryle is abusive, but you know, that doesn't really happen until they get married. So she's trying to navigate that, and then she ends up having a kid. And then also you add Atlas into it, and Atlas is a boy that was homeless where she used to live. He used to stay in like the abandoned house across from her, and like they created a relationship, friendship, and then a little bit more, and then you know he comes back into her life, and so she's just trying to navigate that between Ryle and him. And then you know she has her best friend, but her best friend is Ryle's sister, sorry. Her best friend is Ryle's sister. So also that kind of like complication of relationship was there. And then It Starts With Us is where It Ends With Us ended pretty much, and we get to know more of Ryle's story and his background. I do like how they added Atlas's story in this book. It was cute. I kind of liked Atlas's little side stories. They were cute. I didn't mind it, and I do want to go see the movie. I want to see how it turns out. I know a lot of people were not happy that they aged up the characters so much. So the fact that I read the books after they said that they were going to do the movies, and you know Blake Lively and Justin Bolsoni, I think, is in there. I was picturing them in my head. So, and like all the characters that I've seen. So I mean, it was easy for me to imagine them because, like I said, I read the book afterwards. But for people who read it before, I might have imagined different people. But anyways, we'll see how it is. Anyways, I read The Only Survivors by Megan Miranda. This was also pretty good. For me, so hold on, sorry. Let me just quickly go over a quick synopsis if I can kind of remember. But so a decade ago, a couple of friends, I'm saying a couple, I think there was like 4 or 6 of them or something like that. What happened? I totally forgot. Friend group went down. Oh yeah, sorry, okay. They went on like a senior trip. Something happened on that senior trip, very traumatic. And when they got back, you know, they were the only survivors of that trip, the 6 friends or however many. And then a year later, one of the girls of the group, you know, dies. And, you know, they say it's suicide that she did. And so anyways, they have this secret that they're holding on to. And so they decide, hey, once a year on the anniversary, because the girl killed herself on the anniversary. They said once a year on their anniversary of the time that this tragedy happened, let's meet up and just kind of check in with each other and make sure they're okay. So they've been doing this for like a decade, right? And then this time they come, and the main character, Cassidy, she wasn't gonna go, but then she gets this email, and it's with an obituary of one of the people that was in the accident. And, you know, he was kind of a close friend to her, and he was part of the group, and so she decided to go. And, you know, then when she gets there, things are kind of like awkward. Nobody really brings up the death of the other friend or the other person that's usually supposed to be there. And then one of the girls goes missing, and so they're trying to figure out like what happens there. And, you know, just kind of like a lot goes on. This was an okay book. I didn't mind it, but for me, the ending was very similar to one of her other books that I've read by her. And I was kind of like, it was just very similar to the other book. I'm not going to mention which book it is. I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah, it was very similar to one of the other books that she read, and I was kind of disappointed. The book itself was okay. It wasn't bad. I did like the setup, the scenery. It was in the Outer Banks. And like it kept me engaged enough, but there were times where I would put it down for quite some time. So, and it did take me a minute to get through it because I would put it down so often, but yeah, it wasn't terrible. It wasn't terrible. It was bad. Then I read The Lies I Tell by Julie Clark. Honestly, this book was pretty okay. It just wasn't very memorable to me. Like, what I can really remember is that this journalist, she is writing a story about this girl who kind of changes identity and tries to take other people's money, and I can't really remember the plot. I'm so sorry. This is terrible. But like I said, the book wasn't bad. It just wasn't really memorable to me. It was okay. That's really much I can say. The Book of Cold Cases. This was okay. This was another one where it wasn't too memorable. It was, but there's like some type of paranormalness in here, like, and that threw me off. I think that really threw me off. And that's what I didn't too much care for. So, it was okay. Wasn't very memorable. Then I read Black Cake. And this was good. This was cute. I did really like this. I like the scenery. I like the setup. It was interesting. Just kind of, it was almost like, because this book is about Covey. And Covey has 2 kids. She passes away, right? In the beginning of the book, like she's gone, right? But this follows her son and daughter. She left a note or like a video recording of her life, because she's like, I haven't been honest with you guys, like, here's my life. And so it goes back and we're learning about Covey and what happened back in her, you know, Caribbean town, where she, you know, was married off to this man that she didn't want to be married to, and people thought she was dead, and she had to, you know, pretend to kill herself, and then this happened, and this happened. And it was actually really good. I really enjoyed it. They actually do have a show out of here, off of Black Cake, on Hulu. I think I watched the first episode, maybe the first 2 episodes. I haven't finished it yet, but it was good. I did like it. I did enjoy it. I enjoyed the setup, the scenery. I enjoyed I kind of felt like I was going through it with Benny and Brian. I think it's Brian. Yeah. With Benny and Brian, I kind of felt like I was listening to the mother's story as well. So, and then you kind of, you know, see a little bit into the kids' life, like Brian and Benny, and kind of like what they had to go through a little bit and things like that. So this was good. I would read it. I would recommend it. I think it was good. This one, I am so disappointed, you guys. I am so disappointed because, okay, before I even start, this book is by Lucy Foley, and I really enjoy her writing. Now, I've only ever read 2 books by her. This is the 3rd, but the first 2, 5 stars, loved. The Guest List, The Paris Apartment, so good. This is The Midnight Feast by Lucy Foley, and I just was not the hugest fan of it. And I was so sad because I love Lucy Foley. This also was another one, and maybe I'm just like not huge on the paranormal, or at least like the paranormal mixed in with like real world stuff, because like, yeah, I find paranormal stuff and like spiritual things go on and we have no idea, but like I don't know if I want that in my book when I don't know like when I don't sign up for a full paranormal book, if that makes sense. Like if I grab a book and I'm like, okay, this is about ghosts, paranormal things, spirits and things like that, cool, fine. But usually I don't gravitate towards that, so that the fact that they kind of added in some books, I'm not a huge fan of. Other people might though. So other people might love this book. I just was not a huge fan. So pretty much this is about this place called the Manor opens. It's like this big luxury hotel with a whole bunch of rich people that come in, you know, to stay. It's all booked up, right? But it's on land where people like don't want it, right? So the people of the city, the town or whatever, don't want it there because they're like, we don't want all these, you know, like rich snobs around here. Like we're just trying to live our life. We're trying to live in the country. Like this is we don't want all of that, right? Anyway, so the main person, Francesca, she like runs the place. Like this is her legacy, right? And she's something else. So we hear from her perspective. We hear from another girl's perspective. What's her name? I can't remember. It was like Olivia or something like that. We hear from her perspective, and she's there as a guest, but she's a little sketch, right? So we're trying to see like, what is she doing there? And then we hear from Eddie's perspective, and Eddie is the it's like the errand boy, not the bartender. He wants to be the bartender, but I forget what he's doing now. I think he's just like a server or maid or something like that, but he works for the hotel pretty much. And his family's not a huge fan of the Manor, so he's keeping it a secret, and things happen, you know, with his family. And then who else's perspective do we hear? That might be it. I can't remember. That might be it. But yeah. Oh, sorry. We also hear from Oliver, I think is his name. Oscar is Francesca's husband. We also hear from his perspective. And you know what? No, I'm sorry. The book is not on, the cover's not on the right way. Anyway, sorry. As I'm changing this, I'm so sorry. The book was okay. There were some parts where I was really into it and I was engaged, but like overall I can't give it like a super high rating just because I just wasn't, I don't know how to explain it. Like I said, there were some parts where I was really invested and interested, and it felt like that mystery, that Lucy Foley, right? Mystery. And then a little bit later, the more I read, I'm kind of like, okay, now I feel like I'm not liking this. You know what I mean? I don't know how to explain it. I wasn't really here for it, and I'm kind of sad, but it might be for somebody else. Then I read how Moon Fuentes fell in love with the universe. I think I explained this in my main video, so I'm not going to really go into this book. I wasn't a huge fan of it, so we're just going to leave it at that. Then I read Romeo and Julieta. I also think this was in another video, so I'm not going to go too much into it, but I thought it was cute. She was kind of irritating, I'm just going to be honest, but it was cute, and I like the Romeo and Juliet, you know, whatchamacallit, not spin-off, you know what I'm talking about, the remake, there we go. Then I read Once More with Feeling. This was also, because I read these all in like May, this was also my other video. I'm not going to get too much into it. I didn't care for it. Honestly, I forgot I read it this year. I was going through my bookshelf and I'm like, okay, all the books I read, and I was going through it. I'm like, okay, I think I got them all. And then I found the postcards that I just like wrote, not postcards, note cards that I wrote all the books down as I read them so I wouldn't forget. And I was like, oh, I did read that this year, didn't I? This was the same reaction. Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating. I can't really remember anything about this book. I'm just gonna be honest. I can remember that I wasn't a fan of Hazel. I'm just gonna be honest. But that's that. Because that was another book that I read in May. That's in another video, so I'm not gonna harp on that too much. Then I read Unfortunately Yours by Tessa Bailey. And let me tell you guys, I am a Tessa Bailey fan. I really do enjoy her books. Now, her books do have spice in there. I'm just gonna be honest. They have some spice in there, so I do like to skip those scenes now, because I'm trying to step away from spice. But her writing is just really good, and her characters are also really good. Like I told you, I'm a character person. I like characters, right? And if I don't like your character, I'm okay. I'm probably gonna rate the book just a little bit lower because of the character. The main characters, that is. And I just usually really like her main characters. I think that this book was so cute. It was so good. It's about Natalie and August, and Natalie is, if you guys know, Secretly Yours is also in the same series. Secretly Yours was about Hallie and Julian. This is Julian's sister, Natalie, okay? So she is a Voss Vineyard girl, so her family runs Voss Vineyard, so she's kind of, I think she's a lawyer or something like that. He's an ex-SEAL. They have that enemies to lovers trope, and they're just so cute in the way that he just is like, I'm here to protect you. It's just so cute. And then there was like a little flood scene in there where there was a flood that happened, and you know, his instincts kick in and he's like, I gotta go help. And she's like, be careful. Like, I don't want you to go. Like, I'm going with you. Like, yes, you're putting yourself in danger. So if you do get in danger, then he's gonna try to help you and put himself in more danger. But at the same time, I was like, okay, I'll let it go because you guys are cute. I like them. I like them. So I definitely did love it. And like I said, I'm a fan of Tessa Bailey. I'm just a fan. Next, I read All the Little Raindrops by Mia Sheridan. I don't hear a lot of people talking about this book. I hear a lot of people talking about Mia Sheridan, but I have not heard people talk about this book. And this was a release this year, I want to say, if I'm not mistaken. But pretty much it's about Noelle and Evan. So when you first open up the book, okay, they're trapped, right? So they get kidnapped by these people and they make them do horrible things, and they play this like game where either you come upstairs and do like what I ask you to do, or the person in the next cage next to you can get their hand chopped off. And so pretty much it's them protecting each other because they actually do have history. They find out like early, like pretty much right away. They're like, oh, we do have history because what's his name? Evan's dad killed Noelle's mom. And so that was something within itself. But then they have this kind of pact where they're like, okay, we're gonna leave. We came here whole, we're gonna leave here whole. So, you know, the people come in and they're like, okay, Noelle, come with me up to this room, or you don't have to, but his ear's gonna get cut off, right? So they protect each other and they do what they have to do to protect the other one pretty much. And they just go through this like huge trauma. They end up getting out, and later on we do find like it's a game going on, like people are watching this happen. But they end up getting out, and then you see them after they get out and like how they're kind of processing that. And when they get out, they like Noelle finds out that her dad passed away throughout that time. So you have that going on, and then you have, you know, Evan's dad being a meanie, and so they create this kind of bond that may or may not be unhealthy. It may be unhealthy because, you know, they went through something traumatic together, so they feel like they need to be together, and that's kind of what they were saying. And Noelle was like, I think we just need to shh. And then they, you know, see each other again after however many years, and then they disperse again until they see each other again, what, a decade afterwards, because Evan is now a PI, and a man tells the police that he was in a situation very similar to what Evan and Noelle went through. And so he's like, I'm gonna find Noelle to see if she can kind of help me with this. And then he finds out, you know, something happened with Noelle, and so it's them putting their relationship together on top of trying to figure out like who's doing this, why they're doing it, what's going on, right? So I thought it was a really good book. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed reading the writing, but like the stuff that happens, and it's not far off from being reality, right? Because things like that happen all the time, which is just sick. But I thought it was a good book. It was a heavy-hitting book. It was a pretty, you know, difficult, like heavy-hitting book, but it was good, right? If you can handle it, like you know, look up the content warnings and things like that. But if you can handle it, I would recommend reading it because it was pretty good and it was sad and just crazy and a lot of emotions. Okay. Anyways, moving on. 5 Feet Apart. This is cute. Now, some of these books are more of like the young adult kind of books. So for me, they might just be like, but for other people, maybe it's geared more towards will love it, right? But this was cute. It was okay. I know that they have a movie with Cole Sprouse and I don't know who the girl, what her name is. But it's pretty much about Stella and Will. They have, what do they have? They have something, Septus B, I think, Septus B. And pretty much it's very highly contagious to each other. If they're like next to each other, you kind of have to pretty much be in isolation, right? You can't be around other people with that same disease. And it's just pretty much them and their lives. They end up meeting because Will is new to the hospital. Stella's been there since she was like a kid. They meet and they have to stay 6 feet. But she's like, I'm going to take this extra foot back. They have to stay a certain amount of feet apart, right? But they kind of start dating. And so it's just kind of them going throughout the relationship and stuff like that. It was cute. It was cute. Next, I read Kisses and Croissants. This was also cute. I like the scenery. I like the setup. I like that it was in France. It was adorable. It was just kind of like one of those quick reads. I feel like I could see myself watching this on Netflix. If you guys have ever heard of Love and Gelato, I've never read the book, but I did watch the movie, and that's what this was giving for me, the Love and Gelato. Like, I could see this turn into a movie, and it seemed exactly like Love and Gelato, but in France, and with dancing. So, cute. Okay, last 3 books, you guys. We're almost done. The last 3 books I read is the Summer I Turned Pretty series. Now, I'm going to do a video on this, so I'm not going to speak much about it at all, but I did read all 3. So, it's The Summer I Turned Pretty, It's Not Summer Without You, and We'll Always Have Summer. I can tell you that my least favorite book was the last one. And that's all I'm going to tell you because, like I said, I'm going to do a video on that series in itself. Anyways, that is the 25 books that sorry. That was 24. I have one more I read. I read The Family Upstairs. And I don't have it with me because it wasn't my copy. Somebody lended it to me and I gave it back. So The Family Upstairs, I will try to insert a picture here if I can figure out how to do that. But by Lisa Jewell. And pretty much it's, there was a lot going on, man. There was a lot going on, but we had different perspectives from different people, and we had like time jumps. So it was like different perspectives of, one girl, and you know, she has 2 kids, she has a dog, and she's kind of like homeless, right? Her ex-husband is abusive. And then you get the perspective of another woman, and she inherits this house, right? And finds out some interesting facts about her past, right? She's adopted. And so she finds out some interesting things about her past. And then, you know, we get, I think those are the 2 perspectives we get, if I'm not mistaken. But then we get flashbacks of, you know, this little boy telling the story of this random family that just like moved into their house, and they just kind of uprooted their whole life by moving into their house because they changed all the different things. And then her parents, like his dad is, you know, sick. So after a little bit, and he kind of just, I think he had like a stroke or something. So he's not really mobile or talking. And then his mom is just kind of going along with whatever that family is saying, or like because there's a family that moves in. It's a husband, a wife, and a son, a daughter. And then 2 other random people move in. And it's just like they uproot their life, and it's so weird. And then the mom starts acting weird and giving away stuff. There's these different house rules that are going on, and just a lot of different things that happen. The ending, I was like, what? There were a lot of twists in that book. And I do want to read The Family Remains. to kind of see what's happening there. I don't know. I think it's a pre-sequel, so I definitely want to read that. But yeah, there was just a lot that happened. I thought it was good. I thought it was a good book. I would recommend it to read. Lisa Jewell, for me, is one of those kind of like auto-buy type authors. I really do have enjoyed the books that I have read by her. Like, my favorite, now I know everybody talks about Then She Was Gone, and Then She Was Gone was really good too, but my favorite like 5-star read from her that I've read is Watching You, and I don't hear a lot of people talking about that. So if you have to read a Lisa Jewell book, I'm gonna say read Watching You, and if you don't like it, don't blame me. We all have different opinions, but no, my favorite was Watching You. It was so good. I really liked it. So you know, then I read other Lisa Jewell's books, like Then She Was Gone. I read None of This Was True. None of This Was True was okay. It was good. It's not my favorite that she's written, but it was still good. And I think that's turning into a show. But yeah, I think those are all the books that I've read by Lisa Jewell, and then The Family Upstairs, which I thought was really good too. So yeah, Lisa Jewell, she can do a cute little mystery book, or what would her genre be? Her genre, sorry. A psychological thriller, maybe thriller. Let's do it at thriller. But yeah, anyways, that is the 25 books I have read in 2024 so far. So thank you guys for sticking with me. If you've watched this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I hope you guys are having a good day, a good night whenever you guys are watching this, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.